Hello everyone. Thank you all for being here. My name is Dewansh. I am a software engineer at Udaan. Today I'll be talking about how we can use AI dev tools to increase our productivity and making basically our lives easier. So I'll just quickly jump to it. So as mentioned before, the GitHub Copilot is one really good tool for which using which you can generate code in real time. You just have to pass in real your function parameters, or maybe what do you want your function to do, and it generates the code. So there's GitHub Copilot, there's ChatGPT, there's OpenAI Codex, and yeah. So my personal experience using all of these tools has been that it really helps you design and develop things very quickly. The problem, as I see with them, is they might not be 100% correct. They might have some flaws in which we as developers have to take a look once. So can I use AI to do my work? AI assisted tools can be used to help developers, and they are very quick, innovative, and intuitive to use. And they are very easy to use, and they can generate our code in real time. But would they be replacing developer jobs, as the question arises? In my personal opinion, no, not in the real time future, anyways. So we are safe for some time at least. And let's try to see a few examples where we use ChatGPT to develop a few apps. Like for example, we'll just go through a quick example where we give a quick prompt to ChatGPT to write a calculator React Native app. And yeah, so is this visible? Awesome. So basically, I give ChatGPT a prompt to write me a React Native application which functions as a calculator. And in the interest of time, I'm going to skip ahead. Yes. So here we can see ChatGPT comes up not only with the flow that you have to follow as a basic walkthrough of what the structure should look like. It also comes up with the actual code that can be used to inject into an Expo application and run the React Native app in real time. So what this entails is that I do not have to spend a lot of time on me as a dev. But for example, if you see over here, the handle calculate function isn't given over here, right? It just says perform the necessary calculations here. So I just asked ChatGPT to write me that function too, so that I can just utilize, not spend much time thinking about what to do. So here it is, and directly this code can be injected into a React Native application. So it makes life very easy. I literally spent a few minutes asking it the right questions, and here it is. And then I'll also demonstrate how you can inject this into your application. So I just go npx create React Native app and spin up a calculator. It takes some time, and yeah, we start building the app. Expo takes its sweet time to run the app, and once it spins up, you'll quickly see it takes a few seconds to come up with a calculator. You can perform basic calculations on it, and it works perfectly fine. Oh, yeah. So the idea over here is that I, as a developer, shouldn't spend time thinking on what to code. I mean, that is essentially one portion of the job that's very essential. But things that are really, standardized, or maybe that can be developed very quickly and we can move ahead quickly, we should ideally spend less time on that and spend more time thinking and innovating on how we can make things more robust and better for us. So this is one example of how you can use ChatGPT to make a React Native application. But apart from that, let's say I, as a backend developer, so I'm a full stack developer too. So now let's say I want to write some APIs. I need something like, let's say I want to create an app where I click an image, or maybe I just select an image from my gallery, and I want to quickly upload that image to S3 and maybe just display it for now. How do I do that? Again, the prompt. Hey ChatGPT, can you help me write a Flask app so that I can upload an image from my React Native application? and ChatGPT helps us do the same. So I just asked this prompt on if it can help me generate a Flask API, and it comes up with all the code base. So the idea over here is I don't spend a lot of time thinking what I want to write in code. The idea over here is what I want to build. If I wanted, so right now what we'll try is once we've uploaded this image to React, once we have uploaded this image to S3, let's ask ChatGPT to maybe use the Amazon recognition client to come up with all the elements that are present in the image and then to display that data in a React Native application. So essentially, if we are able to do that, we'll have an object recognition app without having thought through much and having leveraged ChatGPT. So just by having, meanwhile the Docker is spinning up, we'll just quickly also give ChatGPT a prompt to come up with an image selector in React Native app so that we can upload the image through the /upload endpoint over here. So it comes up with this, and I have already built this application. So I'll just quickly spin up the emulator and show how it comes up. Yeah. Okay. Docker d-p test. Okay. So quickly seeing over here, we can see that an image picker has been picked up, right? And we just, like, let's say even if I just do this is a dummy PAN card and all, and you get the upload image buttons. You can just click upload image, it would hit the API, you'll get the response, and then you can quickly render it in your UI. So the idea over here is to use these tools so that we as developers can quickly iterate and move forward and build products in real time. Okay, let's try one live example. Can you generate some code to identify images, to identify elements present in an image? Can you write an API actually? A Flask API, let's say. Identify the image and return them in the response. So by just doing this, ideally it should pick an image from S3 and use the Amazon recognition client to perform entity recognition, which can then return this response, the confidence level, and we can use them to render the UI in our application. So yeah. So over here, if you see, it just picks in the file that I've sent in the response. It uses Boto3 to recognize the labels that are there, the confidence, and everything is returned in this API. So this way, I don't have to spend a lot of time in thinking on how I need to proceed further, on what I need to, how do I need to make things work in production, even if anything breaks over here. So for example, I think yes. Yeah. So if you see over here, when running yarn tests, I get the following error: syntax error, cannot use import statement outside a module. So it just explains to you, like, this is where you're going wrong, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to proceed further. So everything is broken down in bits and chunks so that we as developers can learn easily, iterate quickly, and move forward. So using ChatGPT can be very helpful. The problem with it can be that you may get stuck into build errors and everything, since it's not always going to come up with responses that are actually right. So you might have to go back and forth with your responses. But yeah, ideally it's gonna be very easy, very helpful for developers to be able to use such tools and move forward.